Hey guys, welcome to the channel, and today we're going to review the Google Solar app, aka Project Sunroof. Hey guys, Oscar here. So Project Sunroof is Google's kind of answer to should I get solar panels, right? And of course, Google has to have their hands in everything, including this too. And they did a fairly good job. Now, I say fairly good because they're obviously using their satellites to be able to determine how much sun exposure all our roofs are getting, right? And you simply put in your address and you could see everything. It's very easy to use, and I'm sure a lot of like the companies out there that are installing solar panels are using that app. I really doubt that they're using their own proprietary system. I think they're probably utilizing what's already free for them. So let's explore the app and let's think about it. Let's see what it does and its limitations. All right, so let's switch over to this mode. So as you can see, we're going to go ahead and go to Project Sunroof. I already saw it over there. I know. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. Quick. I get made fun of my wife all the time for spelling. And some of my other friends. I won't say who. Okay, so Project Sunroof, right? So let's say that, and I'm not going to share my address. Sorry, guys. You could send hate mail to somebody else. But let's look up an address of a local school or something, right? I'm going to go ahead and type in our local high school over here. So I'm going to go ahead and check the roof of that. And then here we go. So you could see the local high school that we have over here. That's not too far from where I live. And you could see, the stadium and so on and so forth. So if I'm just looking at like this building here, so this side is considered the south side. And so you could tell that the south sides actually do get, more sun, right? And look at this. This is like a flat rooftop. It's the gym. No, this is the main building. So you could see just how much sun, and you could match this color to this color, right? And of course, these are the shades, and then these are parts that potentially get very little sunlight. But notice what it says. Your roof may not be ideal for solar panels. Wow. And I think that's probably like the most ridiculous thing, to see this much sun and still get a message like that. So let me just kind of look at a random house over here. So I'm going to look at this house right over here, and then you go ahead and do the C estimate. And you could see that, once again, your roof may not be ideal, and which is ridiculous, of course, because if you could tell, these people, look at how much of their roof is actually facing. I could see that this one might even be a better candidate. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that one. And yet again, your roof may not be ideal for, I don't know what, I think this is a glitch. I swear I had done this months back, and I never got this message before, but it seems like everywhere you're getting this message, right? So let me look for one in Arizona, right? Because Arizona is considered to be the best location, right? For solar panels, right? So let me go ahead, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the University of Arizona, Arizona State University. I apologize. Let me see if I can find the address quickly. All right, so here we go. Okay, so, and look at this right here, because it is, like I said, considered, the best place in the United States for solar panels. Right off the bat, they're like, "Yep, this is good for you." And if I click this building right here, anything nearby. So let's see if I can find anything residential by the university over here. And this is just crazy, like the way that it looks. I could see some residential homes over here already. Or maybe not. I don't know what those are. These have got to be houses, right? Here we go. And boom. So these people are like for sure. But notice like the actual shading is still kind of dark on this one in comparison to the way that some of the other ones are. And it's still showing up. And I think that's probably, they don't want, I feel like this is my theory. Google doesn't want to be blamed if you get solar panels and they're not producing as much, right? So that's a Google project, the Google Project Sunroof. Okay, so obviously there's a few questions, right? You need to face south. That's always like the thing. You always need to face south. But do you really need to face south? Let's remember, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, right? And that is, the theory is that the most sun exposure that you will have is coming from the south side, and nothing from the north side, which is obviously a bunch of baloney. You're going to get sun from all directions. So the most efficient place, of course, is the south side. And the flaw, of course, in the Project Sunroof by Google is every single house may not be ideal, right? I'm sure you could find a place that is ideal and it's all the roofs are facing south at the perfect angle. Who knows? But regardless, that's the limitation that it has. It's just saying, nope, your place is not good enough for it. But as I could see in my own system, it doesn't necessarily matter. I only have one side facing south. And it's like the smallest. And yes, they produce the most electricity, but not by an overwhelming amount saying, oh my goodness, like I wish I had, like only south facing roof. That's not necessarily the case, right? So as you could see, McAllen has actually installed all of these different panels along this green belt on Benson Road, right? And it's a brilliant idea, right? Because I bet you anything that those little tiny panels are producing just a little bit of extra electricity that is not just for lighting those bulbs. I could guarantee you that just slightly extra every single day is going back into the grid and benefiting McAllen. And McAllen does a lot of smart things, and they need to expand on doing this more, right? They can't just stop. So what are some of the worst states? Like if you're really considering getting a PV system, as everybody calls them now, if you're really consider getting one, not in Minnesota. So apparently Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan are considered the worst states to be able to get a PV system. It's obvious. Those are the freezing cold states. And then if you think about on the other side of that coin, you would think, well, then the real hot places are good, right? So yes and no. So Arizona is considered the best place for solar panels in the United States. Along with Nevada and so on. So all of those states in that territory, of course, are going to produce the most. But are they really? And here's why. Because once temperatures reach a certain height, those panels will actually stop producing electricity. They're going to give you much less. But are they really like the best places? I mean, you're talking about the hottest and you're like, well, yeah, if it's hot, that's where the most sun is. And yes, logically speaking, that is where, that's where you're going to get the most panels. But once you reach a certain temperature, the actual panels will degrade. Like they will not produce as much electricity as you want them to. And it's 149 degrees. And you're like, well, it's never going to get up to 149 degrees in the desert. Well, maybe not very close to it, but you also have to remember that those panels are absorbing heat. So it's not just the ambient temperature. You have to add about 10 to 15 degrees on top. that means that your panels, it could be 110 degrees outside, which, you've seen some of these record highs, right? Check it out. Look at these record highs.
Hundreds of thousands of people in California have their power back after forced rolling blackouts on Friday night. State officials ordered the outages because of high temperatures and increased electricity demand. More could be on the way with a heat wave settling in over much of the region. CBS News meteorologist and climate specialist Jeff Baradelli joins me now. Jeff, we had you on yesterday. It's good to have you on again today. I'm wondering if there's any update about how long this heat wave could last.
As the days have gone on, it looks worse and worse, actually. The peak of this looks to be probably Tuesday, but I think this is going to last straight through next weekend for the Southwest. Now, we're getting a lot of heat as far north as Seattle during the day today. That will start to come down as early as tomorrow, but the southern extent of this heat wave is going to last a long time. So get ready and just try to limit your time outdoors, because it really is going to be a scorcher. Sweltering and oppressive would be the words that I would use. Lots of watches and warnings up and down the West Coast, especially right now. Take a look at some of these temperatures. So we'll be 115 in Las Vegas today. California, Bakersfield, so anywhere in the valleys from there up to Fresno, 111 degrees.
And then you have to add about 10 to 15 degrees on top of that, and that's what your panels are going to be sitting at. So, and I've seen it here in McAllen, right, where the panels actually, it's so hot outside that they should be producing, my peak power, and they don't because it's just too hot, right? And then, of course, the other side of that coin is the 77 degree, which is like the perfect temperature. Imagine that day, and this is actually, those are my favorite days too. Bright sun, and it's cold outside, right? Well, about 77 degrees is the ideal temperature where you will have the most output, and probably not even that peak power that you're guaranteed, or not guaranteed, but that your system says that it could potentially reach. That'll be the closest, is whenever you have no clouds, beautiful day that's about 77 degrees, and just complete sunshine that whole day. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this one. So as always, ask yourself, is this good for the earth? All right, see you on the next one.